that ordinary podcast with the extraordinary thoughts that tells you to stop being great and be extraordinary. You know, today, this time around, I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm actually very excited. And I'm excited because, one, I get to learn a couple of things. And I'm not saying that I never learn anything in life, but this time I'm actually going to be able to utilize this upcoming year. So I felt like this would be no better than somebody to talk to about this particular situation. And I feel like this is something that a lot of us deal with, you know, just being adults and trying to figure out life and, you know, things of that nature, you know, mortgages, rent, realty, everything. Did I say realty? Is that even a proper word to say?
I mean, we can make it a word.
Absolutely.
Ladies
and gentlemen.
I like it.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Douglas Gutierrez. Sir, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for inviting me, man. I'm excited about this.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Now, but for those who don't know who you are you and what do you do?
So, you know, great introduction here.
I'm really good at this.
You are. So, my name's Doug, you know, and I'm a local real estate agent here in the San Diego area. And what I do is I help not only families, but also military families utilize their VA home loan to probably purchase one of the biggest things they'll ever purchase in their lifetime. So, you know, I pride myself on using everything I learned from the Marine Corps and just putting that into people and just helping families build generational wealth. That's what it's all about.
I love that. And your slogan is, I serve my country and now I serve my community.
Yes, it is.
And to be honest with you, if you brought up a list of just realtors and tried to like, who am I supposed to pick that's going to help me buy my dream home? Because let's be frank here. That is really what it is.
Yep.
Your dream home.
Yep.
And the crazy part is I remember when I was back in Jacksonville, me and my wife were going to buy a house in Jacksonville.
Okay.
And the issue is that the person that was showing us the houses, I don't think that, I feel like this was his first time on the job because we're driving, I'm riding in the car and I'm like, why are we following this guy? He don't even got his tail light in. Like, they ain't even a tail light. Then he takes us to like this empty lot. And I'm like, see, I told you we were about to get robbed. I told you we were about to get robbed. He pulls up and he brings us out there and he says, just look around. And I look around, ain't nothing there. And I'm like, so what we supposed to be looking at? Where the house at? He's like, just imagine a house being there. I said, yeah, we done here. Yeah, we done here. No, I'm good.
Oh, man. Yeah.
So, and I feel like, because you always hear those stories.
Yes.
Of, I'm just trying to buy this house.
Yes.
I'm just trying to get this house sold. I don't care who was buying it. That actually scares me. Mm-hmm. Because this is one of the biggest commitments. Second to marriage.
Yep.
Imagine going to a house that you don't like.
Yep.
Now you got to fix it up. I don't want to fix up my dream home.
Exactly.
So when you say that you serve your community, when you say that you're helping somebody find the house that dwells within them, that really means a lot.
No, it does. And, you know, like you said, I serve my country. Now I'm serving my community. And I wanted to have that slogan, not just because it's, you know, a gimmick or a sales pitch. It's what I want to do. I genuinely want to help people, you know, purchase that dream home, not have that gut wrenching feeling of showing up to an empty lot and imagining something or having that feeling of we're going to be on the next case files or whatever, right? You know, you want to have that sense of security. I feel, a house as your biggest asset, and that's exactly what Absolutely. It is, you know, investment, whatever you want to call it, but as an asset, it's supposed to be your sanctuary, right? So the world is full of craziness, it's full of drama, it's just full of crazy, right? It's full of everything. But when you come home and you close that door and you're inside your four walls with you, your wife, your kids, your family, whatever, you want to have that piece of serenity,
Absolutely.
that peacefulness of, you know what, no one's going to stop us when we're in these four walls. Mm-hmm. So, and that's what I want to get out there. You mentioned earlier about, you know, selling that house or working on that next paycheck. To me, that's, you know, transactional. Right. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people in this business, don't get me wrong, want to be transactional, but it's a relationship business. You know, I'm here to develop a relationship. I'm here to get to know you. I'm here to get invited to your barbecues, know when your kids' birthdays are, show up for those, be here genuinely anytime you need something and not just be there. Oh, that's just my real estate agent, right? You know, that's part of the family. You know, I can call him right now and he can connect me to someone that can help me with this or something that can help me with this, and just be involved in the community and, you know, just trying to make a difference. You know, I always say, you know, you make a difference one person at a time, but in this case, you know, one family at a time.
You know, that really sounds like good leadership. Honest to God, like that really just sounds like good leadership.
Yeah, that's and it leadership. It can be totally different things, right? I mean, the Marine Corps definitely. I love the Marine Corps. It gave me my start. Showed me what a leader is. Showed me what leaders aren't. You know, all the above under that umbrella. And you know, that's just what it is. It's just I feel if you ask me what leadership is, it's just knowing how to help your people.
Absolutely.
That's all it is.
Now, speaking of leadership, speaking of Marine Corps, you were in the Marine Corps.
Yes. I was in the Marine Corps for 6 years. So I was stationed here. I was an administrative specialist, so 111, right? So I got stationed at the PAC in Miramar. I was there for about 4 years, where I met my wife. You know, we met down here in San Diego, and then I got orders to recruiting station in San Francisco. So that was interesting, right? I didn't know I mean, I knew ICE, but I was like, recruiting station in San Francisco, you know, at all places, right? So I went up there, you know, I was the assistant to the chief, and then when he left, I became the chief. And during that time, the Marine Corps was downsizing.
Absolutely.
So we had to have a lot of roles, right? I'd help on the recruiting side. I would help in the career planning side. So that's kind of how I got in touch with, you know, not only leading Marines, but also looking out for families' well-being, right? Because I was a career planner, and during that time, I think the Marine Corps went from 210,000 to like 198,000. It was
that was
quota.
around time they start implementing the VERP and everything.
Yes, yeah. VERP came in. You know, if you got passed over once, you're done. If what else was you know
that was
BCV?
a stressful time during that time.
You want to talk about stress? At that time I went in as a corporal, right? Up to San Francisco, and then you know just got promoted sergeant, and then so being a sergeant, right? Maybe 6 months into career planning, the headquarters Marine Corps came out with the you know the guidelines, and then now I got to go down this list of 12-year, 14-year, 10-year, you know, sometimes even 9-year, you know, and you know, recruiting duty it's everything. It's grunts, it's the wing, it's you know what every job you know is you can be a recruiter, and so I try having that conversation. Hey, Staff Sergeant, I know you got 3 kids, a wife, you gave 12 years to the Marine Corps, but I need you to sign this paper because you got 1 month to get out. You know what I mean?
That's rough.
Yeah,
that's rough right there.
I mean, people, you know, like gave their whole life like to the Marine Corps, and just to slam it in their face and say goodbye. You know, so that's what. You know, I started picking up on all that, and then you know, you start hearing, oh, we have to hit these numbers. You know, we have to hit this, and you know, it started becoming transactional. So now I'm starting to pick up all this stuff, and you know, now it's my turn to transition out, right? And which brings me into why I got into helping families in this position is because as I'm sitting here telling, you know, these staff sergeants, these gunnies, what are you gonna do? Everyone's like, well, first of all, I got nowhere to live because I lived on base housing. I don't have school. I didn't take advantage of my TA, right? I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, what can I do? You know what I mean? And it sucks because the Marine Corps doesn't do a good job of helping people transition. Now, during my time, I don't know if they've gotten better.
It's gotten a little bit better.
With temps, whatever. But, you know, when I went through, it was a week that was rushed, right?
And then I know exactly what you're talking about.
And then the VA home loan was at Friday at 3:30. And by the way, guys were kicking out early at 3:45. Have fun, right? So now it's just like whoa, what's going on here? So, you know, after seeing all this and being open to it, that's when I'm like, how can I help families not only transition but have that sense of security? And that's where real estate came in, right? Knowing some of these benefits of the VA home loan and all that fun stuff that comes with it, it's like now I can teach people how to use all that for their benefit. So now when it's like, hey, here's that piece of paper, sign on dotted line, see you on the other side, at least they have some sense of security, something that they can fall back onto.
Absolutely. You know, during that time when they started downsizing, I was one of the ones that was on the chopping block.
Oh man.
Oh, and I was a corporal.
Yeah, tell me what was going through. How you feeling?
So during that time, I think it was 2012, 2013, around that time. Right. That's when I found out that they were going to start downsizing. So I started seeing people VERP and everything.
Right.
I'm still thinking, I'm not going to be one of those guys. I'm not worried. I didn't look at my MOS and realize that my score for sergeant closes out on the regular basis.
Right.
So by like 2015, our score had already been closed out for a year.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I'm coming back from a deployment. I already done talked to a career planner, and he's telling me that if I don't pick up sergeant, I'm getting out of the Marine Corps. And I'm like, what do you want me to do?
Right.
He's like, go, get it on get meritorious. I'm like, yeah, let me just knock on the door real quick and see if they can put me on a meritorious board.
ACO.
Can you put
me on the board?
I had to have that conversation.
Right.
I had to have that conversation with my wife. And I used to tell her, like, and I was so stressed because I would sit there and I'd be like, I don't know what we're going to do. And now, granted, I picked up sergeant.
Right.
And it felt like just every time, like I picked up sergeant, and the tattoo situation came out. And like Marines that didn't have if your tattoos were out of regs, they're getting shit forced out. Once again, one of the Marines.
Yeah.
So luckily, I was able to just weather that storm. But during that storm is when I realized, I was like, yo, like we need to start figuring out what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Because we missed this bullet, but I'm sure again, lightning is going to strike twice.
Yeah.
And when I've been to TRS and I've seen like so many Marines, and you can just look at the ones that have a plan, and then you can tell the ones that don't have a plan. And this isn't just 4 years. This isn't just Marines that have been in 10 years. These are Marines that have been in 20 years, given all their lives.
Yeah.
And now they're thinking to themselves, okay, now I need to begin again.
Your whole life starts over.
I agree.
It's like when Adam Sandler goes back to school. You see all those memes. And
absolutely.
It's the truth. Like
it really is.
Your whole life starts over, and you served honorably. You given your life for this country. You sacrificed your family. You sacrificed so much, and then now it's you're 37, 38 years old, and you got to start over. It's scary.
And and a lot of people get discouraged because you got to think about it. You do 20 years in the military. You came in when you were 18. You're about to get out when you're 38. But to get everything in full when you utilize the college benefits, you got to sit in class. So now you're sitting there with a 20-year-old. You're sitting there with an 18-year-old. You're sitting there with kids, and you just feel so out of place. And then we see those Marines that get caught in that whole mentality of, I'm a veteran. I served, this, that, and the third. But I hate to break it to you, but you just like that student right there.
Yeah.
You're going to have to figure it out. And I love right now where we're at, where you see a lot more Marines starting to capitalize on their time in vice the time that they're going to have out.
Yep.
They're starting to establish themselves now.
Yeah.
And that in the long run is going to pay off.
Oh, huge. When I was in Miramar, so between 2009 and 2012, TA was real big. They built the night school on base. All the Marines were taking night school, taking advantage. I know when I transitioned up to San Francisco, I had a guy, Marine. He's a supply chief over there, and he did all of his bachelor's degree on TA.
Oh, cool.
So he knew he was transitioning now. He had his plan set up. So he's like, hey, I'm just gonna knock out these courses, get my degree, and it helped him segue, into life, because he knew. He would tell me all the time. He's like, dude, I can't sit down in class for 8 hours. Like, from having, you have freedom, in the Marine Corps, you have to be at your certain duty place, whatever. But you still have your lunch, go work out. You have your weekends off. When you're in school, it's totally different beast. Now add kids, add wife, whatever. It's all the above. So
there it is, right there.
We good?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I just adjusted it down just a little bit more.
Right on.
But your MOS, being in recruiting, and then now, and real is it? Am I saying this word right? Realtor.
Yeah, realtor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excuse my ignorance towards it.
No, I mean, even real estate agents mess it up. They have like realtor, real litor. You know what I mean? Hey, real estate agent, realtor, whatever, however you want to say it, just say it.
Fun fact is that I brief myself, I prep myself prior to anybody coming on the show. So I'm talking to somebody about this, and I'm all excited. I'm really excited about this. And I keep saying realtor, and they're like, why do you keep adding extra letters in this word? And I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure I'm saying it right.
Right.
And they're like, no, I'm pretty sure you're saying it wrong, and you need to figure it out before you get on air and say this wrong. And I'm just like, so now I'm subconscious about it every time I say it.
Yeah, every time. No, realtor. Yeah, now you got me. Realtor. It's all good.
But it just seems like, and this is the crazy part is that it just seems like this was something that was just down. Like if we laid out our entire destiny, if we laid out our entire lives and we put it in a timeline order, it just seems like no matter what the situation was, it seemed like this was always going to be a path for you.
It does. I mean, I've always felt that sense of, leadership. I always felt that sense of helping others, which is why we joined the Marine Corps, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, some people join the Marine Corps to get away from their life. Some people join the Marine Corps to have the pride of belonging. Whatever little tag you picked on recruiting, there's a why for it, right? And that's exactly my why is all the people that I came across in the Marine Corps. I was fortunate enough to pick up corporal within my first 3 years, pick up sergeant within my first enlistment. So I was able to be in those positions, right? And then I get shoved up to San Francisco, and now I'm the youngest man on the totem pole. I'm a 21-year-old sergeant, with all these seasoned vets. And now it's just like, now I go from being, shit hot, right? And being on the board, being meritorious, being all that, to now it's just like, oh, you're a no one, right? So now I learned how to be the leadership role, but then also how to listen and how to learn and say, okay, if I'm ever in this position, I can take what you taught me, and I can take what you taught me, and I can tailor it to myself, and I can create the person who I became, which is now helping families, purchase homes and build wealth and just become who they can be without the sense of worriment, right?
Absolutely. Now, my question is when did it click that this was your calling?
Oh, man.
How did the idea formulate that this is the path that I'm gonna walk down, and then this is definitely the path that I'm supposed to be walking down? Because you see it so many times, like we pick these jobs,
Right.
and we think like, oh, because I've had experience in it before, or I know somebody that's done it before, that I can do this as well. But then in reality, this isn't what you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
So
right.
my question is when that idea formulated, when did you realize that it was your calling?
I would have to say it was during sitting at 3:30 on a Friday in TRS class, and hearing about the loan and hearing about the benefits of the VA home loan. So I wanted to learn more about that, right? And then so as I'm learning about it, I was like, man, why didn't I purchase a home when I got married in 2010, right? And then you listen to that question, and it's like, well, because no one knows, right? You reach out to your leadership. Chances are they don't own a home. No fault to them, but no one taught them, right? It's like, when you go to buy the car, your senior lance corporal takes you and hey, just stay away from this 15%.
I definitely got a story for that.
You know what I'm saying? Just stay away from here, and all these other places are good, right? And that's like, okay, so now it's like, I have this knowledge of the loan. Why didn't I use it? So now I start, taking a deeper dive, start figuring out, okay, wow, you can purchase a home with no money out of pocket, right? No down payment. That's huge. Most people have to put 10%, 20%, 3.5% down. So, that's one, right? And then it's like, okay, with real estate, you can sell your home, and if you're married, you can profit up to $500,000. And I'm like, wow, that's a lot of money, right? And then now you have, BH goes up every year, and then your mortgage stays the same. So it's like, if I can match my BH 1 year, and then if my BH is going up every year, that's just profit, right? So you start seeing all these pros, and you don't start seeing cons. And it's like, now, being the leader and being the teacher, now it's like, let me spread this message, right? And now as I'm spreading this message, it's like, dude, I love this. Now it's like, I remember it clearly, right? The first time I ever gave someone the keys, oh man, it's like,
what was it like?
It's just, I got chills right now just saying, I'm about to give you the keys, right? Because it's like, when someone tells you, I never in my wildest dreams thought I would be owning a home, that's like, it's meaningful, right? Here's a way that a lot of people can relate. You remember the time the drill instructor put that EGA in your hand on top of the hill, whether you're San Diego, Paris Island, wherever? It's like that. It's like, whoa, like I just changed someone's life, like figuratively, literally. So that feeling you get, it's just amazing. And then after you start getting that high, right, and you just start helping all these people, it's just, that's what takes you into, that natural calling. It's like, I could do this. Everyone I come in contact with, I can educate them. I can help them build not only instant wealth, but generational wealth. Real estate, you can pass down. You can put homes in a trust. You can, pass down the house. You can, all the money you make. Now you have college tuition for your kids. Now you have a sense of security when you get out. Like, if I can tell any message, is no matter how long you're going to stay in, if you're married, buy something, right? I learned this maybe 2-3 years ago. What I learned is they're not building any more land, but they are building houses on top of that land.
I like that.
Right?
I like
because
that.
they're not, like, all this land is already used up, but they are putting real estate on it. And so the more real estate you own, the more wealthier you become. And you can be wealth can be considered knowledge. It can be considered how much you got in your bank, but whatever that is, it's just that feeling is what segued me into this is my natural calling.
Now, one of my biggest, first off, are you going to get that phrase coined? Because that is that is it right
Which
there.
one?
They're not building any more land.
Oh yeah, I love that one.
That is good.
That's when I need to drive that point in. That's where I like, there it is.
I like that. Now, one of the issues that I faced, especially as a young Marine, especially in the whole stigma of constantly deploying, constantly relocating,
right?
It deterred me from buying a house.
Okay.
Now, what I'm asking is advice towards the Marine that is going to PCS or is worried about, I don't want to buy a house because we're not going to be able to live in it because we're going to end up moving away or something of that nature. Or God forbid, one of the biggest fears is that we buy our dream home. Next thing you know, I show up to work like, hey guys, I bought my home. Hey, you also got orders to Okinawa, Japan.
Right.
Wow.
Been there.
Really?
Been there. Yeah. Yep. I had orders to Oki. Unfortunately we didn't go that route, but no, I mean, that's a huge fear for a lot of people, not just military, but just everyone in general, right? And that goes into one of the benefits of the VA home loan, right? So now that you purchase this home, now that you have the predicted payment, right? So when you buy a house, you have a 30-year mortgage, and that payment, which essentially is your rent or your mortgage, is going to be the same for the next 30 years, right? But what changes is the home value. So as soon as you buy your home, and it's a fact, 1 or 2 houses in that neighborhood are going to go up for sale. Why? Because everyone's competitive. Everyone has to keep up with the Joneses. They got that for that house. Mine's way better. Hey, come sell my house. And then now that house sells 10, 15,000 higher. And then the neighbor around the corner that wants to be competitive with them, hey, let's sell my house and let's make my house more than theirs, right? So now you have that comfort of growth, right? You have that comfort of appreciation, right? And then from there, what's stopping you from renting it out? You know how many people rent here in San Diego? I always tell people like this: if the housing market was to go down in San Diego, all the military has to leave. Because think about it. We live in San Diego.
Right.
What do we have? We have Marine Corps Depot, San Diego, right? Everyone is graduating. You know how many people graduate on a Friday?
Not to forget the naval bases.
And then you got the Navy base, right? And then it's like, dude, the Navy, it's America's Navy. Like, we have to be in the ocean. And okay, so let's just say we move from 32nd to Pendleton. You're still in San Diego, right? So people are always transitioning. People are always coming in. And you already know how much they're spending in rent, right? If you're on base housing, they're taking all that money. So why not put them into your house, right? So, and I always have this regret. When we got married, we didn't purchase and we moved up to San Francisco. You know how nice it would have been to transition back to San Diego with somewhere to go? Not coming home to, where are we going to go? Where are we going to rent? Hey, fortunate for us, we had, my wife's from here. We had family, mother-in-law. A lot of people don't have that, right? And then chances are, wherever you're from, there's probably a lot more opportunities in San Diego, in LA, right? And you can live in the Oceanside area and make that small commute, whatever it is. So that fear it's a fear that people put in because it's fear of the unknown. But once you take away all those unknowns and just listen to the pros of it, it's nothing but great things. So you don't have that fear of, oh, I got transition, what am I going to do? Rent it out. You got Craigslist, you got me, we got property management companies. That's what they get paid for. You bill it into the rent, have someone else pay your mortgage, build wealth off someone else. It's just, that's Monopoly, right? We all play Monopoly.
Absolutely.
It's the same thing. It's the same concept. So, to have that fear, I feel it should be a fear that shouldn't be there. which is why I love spreading this message and letting people know that there's nothing to worry about at all. It's perfect. It's perfect.
I love it. I love it. You know, actually, I'm probably going to listen to this interview probably like 2 more times.
Oh, nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
just
thank
for the
you.
information
Thank
that's
you.
being passed into it. Now, one of my biggest things, and this is what I love to see, is that your social media, because I subscribe to your YouTube channel.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And I love the fact that you made that transition into the social media platform.
Yes.
And utilizing the social media platform within your field, because we're still caught in that era where people are still believing that this is entertainment, and then there are some people that are actually realizing that your business can actually be funneled through this.
Correct.
So, go ahead, talk about what your YouTube channel and how you're utilizing that within your field.
Yeah, no, thanks for subscribing.
Always.
I appreciate that. So, you know, if anyone wants to check it out, just Google my name, Douglas Gutierrez, and all my social media would come up. You know, you can just type in that name on Google, and I designed it that way, right? Reason being is because, you know, you're getting out of the Marine Corps at 24, 25, and then transitioning into a field where it's a lot of old timers. You know, people in real estate, you talk to real estate agents 15, 16, 20 years. My parents own this company. They passed it down to me. So being a millennial, and I pride myself on a millennial, how can I use that to establish credibility where there is none, right? Because it's like people look at you like, dude, I was just hanging out with him on base yesterday, and now he's trying to sell me a $400,000 house. Like, what's going on here, right? So to get that message out there, you have to utilize social media. That's like a big thing. And like you said, a lot of people consider it as entertainment, but I feel the world is completely changing because now you have Xbox generation, now you have Z generation, Y generation, and it's constantly revolving, especially with, you know, like you said earlier, Wi-Fi, with all the stuff on YouTube. Everything is just so much knowledge is out there that it's like, how do I build that credibility, right?
Absolutely.
Now you can touch Instagram. You know, you have millions, billions of people. I think if you ask Google what the number one website is, it's YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Right? Those are the top 3 websites. So now it's like, how can I better my odds of spreading my message? Well, now I can reach out to everyone who's on YouTube only, right? Or you get those people, I don't do Instagram, I'm only on Facebook. Oh, perfect. There I am right there, right? And then utilizing that and putting the same exact message on every platform. You know, I don't believe in business page and personal page, right? I feel like you should be the same no matter what. Because people want to work with you because of the relationship, because of who you are, right? So if you use all that, if you put your personality, if you put your genuine self on there, people are going to gravitate.
You know, I 100% agree with that. I 100% agree with that because I was going through that whole issue with, okay, I have my regular Instagram, my regular Facebook, but then I have the podcasts. And I just was like, well, the podcast is mine. I'm the podcast.
You are, yeah.
You know,
you are the brand. Right?
I am the brand.
Yes, and that's where I think if you think of a business mindset, right, and you take away, you know, personal business, but you just think of a company structure, right? You have the CEO, the COO, CFO, then you have the marketing department. You know, you as a small business owner, whatever the case is, you have to be all of them. Right. So if you put all of that into one and you show this is me, this is who I am, look no further, you found what you're looking for. And here I am. Right. So, man, it's just social media has opened a lot of doors for me, you know, with that. You know, the message I get across, I get people sliding in my DMs. Hey, you know, I just saw that picture of, you know, that gunny in uniform with his family holding a big key sign. And look at the smiles on their faces, you know, and then, oh, I just saw your YouTube channel of you and your wife out there just doing whatever. And you're the same person there. You're the same person here. You're the same person, whether you're in a suit, whether you're not in a suit, whether you have a full beard, you got sleeve tattoos. It's a new era. You know, everyone wants to work with the person that they feel connects with them, vibes with them.
I agree. And speaking of just being you, I got a chance to sit down. First video that I watched on your YouTube channel was the 73 questions with Vogue. I was already just thrown off. I was like, Vogue? Like, I had to make sure. I was like,
Vogue. Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. I got all giddy. I was like, oh my God, he's going to be on my show. He did the 73 questions with Vogue. Like, oh my God, I got a celebrity.
Oh man, no, stop it. No celebrity here. Just an everyday person just trying to change lives one family at a time, right? And it gets old. Like the monotony, there's so much noise out there. It's like let's break it up. I'm a funny guy. I have a personality. I have a life, right? You know what I mean? So let's put all that into it. Let's Vogue is killing it, right? With the 73 questions, everyone's on there. It's like, well, why not ask me some questions? And you want to get to know me? There it is. There's the genuine me, who I am. And let's do business together, right?
I liked how you when they opened the door and it was like, hey, this is 73 questions with Vogue. He was like, we got to make it quick because I got somebody coming. I was like, oh my God, he's a businessman.
Always. I live and die by my schedule.
Absolutely.
Like, if it's not on the schedule, it's not happening. Like we pencil in date nights, we pencil in whatever, business calls, the podcast, whatever it is, you have to live in that schedule. You have to find, some people need a routine,
Absolutely.
which I need a routine like that. I have to get up at a certain time, do whatever I got to do. If not, I feel like my whole world's lost. Maybe that's just the Marine in me, right? But you have to have that routine. You have to have that guidance. You have to have that structure, which ties into your personal well-being and your business well-being, and that's what helps keep everything keep going.
It's so crazy that you say like in the schedule, having that routine. One thing that I got into a habit of doing is writing stuff down.
Oh, nice.
I didn't want, and then I didn't want to like type it. I didn't want to say it anymore. Yeah. I wanted to actually physically write it. And I just feel like there's something about writing that it's like as if it just saves into your body. Like your body remembers it. And because I started writing it on a notebook, I got a magic marker. Yeah, a magic marker.
Okay.
A dry erase marker.
Yeah.
And I wrote on my mirrors.
Okay.
Thank God that nobody else is here with me.
Right.
But I wrote down everything that I need to do. Fine tune this.
Yes.
Upgrade this. Do this. Be happy. And I actually underlined
that.
Be happy.
Yeah.
And I just, every morning when I wake up, when I'm brushing my teeth, washing my face, I get a chance to actually look at what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah. And that's genius. My wife is probably going to love this segment, right? Because she's always like, write stuff down. Because like I said, I'm a millennial, right? So, I just look at my phone. Okay, here's my calendar app. Here's this, here's that. But with writing stuff down, I started doing it. You're probably like the 10th person that said, write things down, So as we went out and bought a journal. Right. It has the calendar. It has notes. You can write your affirmations. It's not corny. It's whatever you feel that's going to help you be the best that you can be. Be happy. A lot of people aren't happy. A lot of it is they might be happy on social media, but you reach them in person. It's not the same. Like you're not really genuinely who you are. Right. So if you have to write on the mirror, which I think is genius. I remember. I think we used to put the notepads, the stickies on the window. She would leave me notes, and like you said, brushing your teeth. I was listening to, I like to listen to a lot of audiobooks, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm always in the car throwing an audiobook, and that's how I get my education on. And so one person said that you have all your greatest ideas in your morning routine when you're brushing your teeth, when you're taking a shower. So what I did, we bought a Google Home, put it in the bathroom, and sure enough, I'm like washing my hair, brushing my teeth, and I'm like, oh, I got to do this. This is a great idea. Google, write me a calendar or put this on the schedule, and then now you can go back to it, write it down. I had a great time yesterday, or I'm genuinely happy where I'm at, and I can tweak this and I can get to the next level. So I like that. I'm gonna start implementing writing stuff down more. I'm gonna try.
Speaking of Google Home, I too own a Google Home.
Nice.
And I'm just going on the record. I feel so powerful when I walk through the house.
Yep.
Like I don't want to say it now because it's going to activate.
Me too. That's why I was kind of hesitant on saying, because I always is naturally, hey, blank, right? Because it'll trigger. But it's funny that you say that, because when we bought our house, I bought a Google Home, right? And then next thing you know, I bought one for the bedroom, right? I bought one for the bathroom. I bought the little Nest thermostat. I just went Googled out, right? And I was like, you know what? Everyone should have a Google. So if you buy a house or sell a house with me, I gift you a Google Home. So, I like to have my little phrases, right? So it's like, buy a home, get a home, right?
Oh,
And
I like that.
dude, it's so dope. Like I would get, I love connecting with my clients on social media, and people would tag me in their stories, and they'll see the kid, why did you buy this for me? The kid's like, Google, what's 2 + 2? Or Google, what's the answer? And they're just there doing their homework with the Google. But it's just making someone's life easier and helping them and adding actual value, because a lot of people say they give value or add value, but can be real misconstrued on the value that you provide someone.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, I love it. I love the little Googles.
My kids lost their minds with Google. They believe that because I ended up buying a Google Home.
Okay.
That's downstairs. Walk in the house, say, hey, Google, do this. Hey, Google, do that. Hey, Google, what is this?
Yeah.
Me and my wife have a disagreement. I'm like, wait,
hold on.
Give me a second.
Let Google handle that.
Excuse me. Hey, Google, what's this? And she's like, so you're gonna listen to her? And I'm like this, wait. It's not that, it's not that deep.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know what? Google, cut that out.
That's awesome, yeah.
But my kids, on the other hand, they think, my oldest especially, she thinks that the Google listens specifically to her. So when my son tries to say, hey, Google, it won't answer. And then she's like, that's because it's not for you.
Yeah.
It doesn't listen to you.
That's so funny.
And they argue about that. And he's like trying to say something. And Google's like, I don't understand. And then she'll say it. One thing that I did realize is that I told my wife, I was like, we got to get 2 different type of Spotify accounts.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it.
Because ain't nothing worse than driving. You're listening to music. You're enjoying yourself. The music cuts off. And next thing you know, they're like, all right, why is Baby Shark playing in this car?
Yes. And then you look and it's like playing in master bedroom. And you're like, seriously?
Or JoJo Siwa, and I'm just sitting looking at my wife like, just tell the kids to get off of the Google
right
now.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love when technology makes our lives easier, man. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get taken over by Skynet sooner than later. we're gonna get taken over sooner than later.
Yeah.
But my final question, and I'm glad that I put this question at the very end, is that, in your words, what does it mean to serve your community, or what does it mean to give back to your community?
Oh man, that's a strong question.
Absolutely.
Right? Because you can serve your community in many ways, right? Whether it's volunteer work, whether it's public speaking, whether it's just being out there picking up trash on the beach, whatever the case is. But I feel that the reason I can serve my community is because I can tell people stuff that I have done, right? Whether it's investing in properties, whether it's helping someone build wealth through real estate, whatever it is, I can give back to people, and they can genuinely know, like, wow, he really does care, right? I love giving back. We just did our annual giveaway. We raffled off a laptop, which I thought was amazing. And just the response to people, just like, oh man, I didn't win, but my kid, they love the fact that you're giving back a laptop. You can change someone's life by giving back, actually being involved in the community, actually hearing their problems, right? And not just worried about your problems and your issues, because we all get so stuck on me, I, right? But actually knowing what your community is going through, actually knowing the changes around, even something as small as new restaurants coming up or whatever the case is, just actually being in the community, being able to give back. It's just, that's the pride of belonging and the sense of, I'm making a difference in this world, and I can look myself in the mirror knowing I have my integrity still intact, and I can lay down in bed, close my eyes peacefully, and let everyone know that I gave it my all.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. Yeah, I'm definitely listening to this episode again. But just like that, another extraordinary thought left this ordinary mind. I hope you enjoyed this episode half as much as I enjoy making it. I want to say Mr. Gutierrez. So
no, stop it. Stop it.
But DJ, do you got anything for?
No, I mean, if you guys are interested in learning more about the VA home loan, I mean, so many benefits from, no mortgage insurance, no money down, being able to leave San Diego or get stationed somewhere else and take something with you. You can profit up to $500K. Whatever it is, reach out to me. I'm on Instagram at Real Estate by DJ. You can reach out. All my information will be here in the podcast. So I love to just sit down with you, talk with you over coffee, and worst case scenario, you just get a free cup of coffee. But let's have the chat. Let's open your mind to the possibilities of some wealth. So
Absolutely, absolutely. Don't forget that Instagram, that YouTube, and all other information will be in the show notes. Please pay attention to the show notes. Jesus Christ, gentlemen. All right.